You won't get on a plane to this day, right?
No.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 famous people who survived plane crashes and malfunctions.
The flyer said that the accident was due to motor failure shortly after his takeoff.
8,000 feet above the ground, luggage flying out.
I came down in a lake near the center of the city of Hanoi.
For this list, we've gathered a list of lucky public figures who've crashed or experienced a major malfunction while flying, but lived to tell the tale. Do you have your own stories of near misses? Tell us in the comments. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
Black people out in the streets, time to wake up. Allies down for the cause, time to wake up. Every race, color, and culture, you better wake up and work together. Ain't no stopping us now. Come on.
Number 10, Ashton Kutcher. We start with someone who's had not one but two serious scares.
Okay. Breathe through your mouth. Breathe through your mouth. Breathe through your mouth. Just do it. Just do it.
In 2009, Ashton Kutcher was traveling with then-wife Demi Moore following a Las Vegas movie premiere when their airplane's engine overheated and it was forced into an emergency landing. The pair was unhurt and relayed the news to fans over Twitter. But that wasn't Kutcher's first bad experience on a plane.
It's so good to see you. Did you just kiss my ear? A little.
6 years earlier, he was flying with castmates Wilmer Valderrama and Danny Masterson from That 70s Show when their cabin lost pressure. Oxygen masks dropped, but Kutcher had to administer CPR to Masterson, whose mask wasn't working. Number 9. Patrick Swayze. In June 2000, Patrick Swayze crash-landed his private plane down a gravel street in Prescott Valley, Arizona.
I didn't injure myself in any way. Matter of fact, I was so focused on putting it on the ground safely that I don't even remember hitting anything.
Upon landing, Swayze cited pressurization problems to the Federal Aviation Administration, but controversy clung to the case when it was reported that there'd been alcohol on board. 3 men were charged for lying to police about witnessing the incident, after it was revealed that they'd helped Swayze remove wine and beer from the plane before taking him to a motel.
I don't know, maybe hide this stuff and make up a story.
Although the craft was heavily damaged, the incident spawned no injuries and no charges for Swayze. Number 8. Ben Cauley. Ben Cauley's career as a trumpeter with the Bar-Kays was only just beginning when disaster struck. On December 10, 1967, while touring with singer Otis Redding, the group's plane crashed into Lake Monona near Madison, Wisconsin. Cauley managed to survive, but he was the only one to do so. Ironically, Cauley owed his survival to the fact that he'd unbuckled his safety belt, which allowed him to float to the surface. He was pulled from the water by a police boat some 20 minutes later, suffering from hypothermia. He would relive the accident in nightmares until his death in 2015. Number 7. Sandra Bullock. In late 2000, a plane with Sandra Bullock on board skidded off the runway and into a snowbank shortly after landing in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. The actress was traveling with 2 crew members and her then-boyfriend, musician Bob Schneider. The plane received heavy damage, but fortunately no one was injured.
Jackson Hole Airport officials tell ET that the plane was a Hawker 700 business jet like this one. Airport security says the plane suffered major damage to the left wing and landing gear, and the entire nose wheel was torn off.
The incident was reminiscent of a scenario Bullock experienced the year before in the 1999 film Forces of Nature. In the movie, she and Ben Affleck strike up a romance following a botched takeoff. It was coming down that caused problems in real life, but a scary coincidence all the same.
Wow, what a story.
Number 6. Barack Obama. In the days before he flew on Air Force One, the future commander-in-chief had cause for concern on a Chicago runway. After landing in January 2008 during his presidential campaign, the wingtip of his plane clipped the wingtip of another grounded aircraft. Fortunately, no one was injured. He had a closer call in July, however, this time after taking off from Chicago. The pilot of the plane announced that he had limited control over the aircraft's pitch, and the plane was diverted to St. Louis. Fortunately, the pilot regained control, and the plane landed without further incident. Obama laughed off the incident, telling reporters, quote, "Just thought we'd spice things up a little bit today." Number 5. Howard Hughes.
He was wealthy and he was powerful, and he had cash.
You'd say, well, just remember, there's no one that I can't buy or destroy.
Howard Hughes is one of the most famous names in aviation history, but he was also involved in 2 major crashes. The first, in 1943, saw Hughes's Sikorsky S-43 plummet into Lake Mead outside Las Vegas, killing 2 of his passengers. Hughes's second major crash saw him smash into a residential area of Beverly Hills while flying an XF-11 Air Force prototype in 1946.
After ripping the corner from 2 homes in Beverly Hills, California, the plane finally plunged into this house. The force of the impact virtually wrecked the building and caused the plane to catch fire.
He suffered a long list of injuries this time, including a collapsed lung, crushed collarbone, and broken ribs. A pivotal moment in Hughes's highly unconventional life. It left him with chronic pain for the rest of his days.
It's not entirely clear exactly how it affected him physically from then on out, but it has always been assumed that some of his attachment to codeine, which turned out to be a lifelong addiction, stemmed from that time.
Number 4. Bono. Bono made international headlines in November 2014 after a scare during a flight from Dublin to Berlin.
The Irish rocker and 4 friends were almost at the end of a 2-hour flight from Dublin to Berlin on a Learjet 60 like this one.
The U2 frontman and 4 friends were approaching the end of their journey when a tailgate door broke off their plane. But thankfully, only their bags were thrown out.
Somehow losing the rear cargo door 8,000 feet above the ground, luggage flying out.
Ever the rock star, Bono didn't let the incident faze him, however. He met with a German special representative to talk about the Ebola crisis hours later, and performed at an awards ceremony the following evening. Hey, the show must go on, with or without your luggage. Number 3. Allen Collins. A founding member of Lynyrd Skynyrd, Allen Collins had the musical world at his feet in the mid-70s. But the band's heyday was cut short on October 20th, 1977, when the plane they were on ran out of fuel and crashed in a Mississippi forest.
What they found in the wreckage was carnage and chaos.
The impact killed 3 band members, including frontman Ronnie Van Zant, as well as an assistant road manager and both pilots. But Collins survived with a busted right arm and 2 broken vertebrae.
People are hollering, screaming, and I've never witnessed anything before in my lifetime.
It was just a disaster to me. I've never seen anything like it. And it just hit me hard.
Lynyrd Skynyrd would reform in 1987, but Collins' involvement was limited due to a car crash the previous year, which had left him paralyzed from the waist down.
It wasn't for you, there wouldn't be none of us. So God bless you all. I don't know, and we got a band for you who listen to this. Thank you.
Number 2. Travis Barker. Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker was one of 6 people on board a chartered flight in September 2008, and one of 2 survivors.
What started everything was the landing gear popped. It sounded like gunshots. It sounded like someone was shooting a gun next to my head.
Following a tire blowout, the Learjet crashed during a takeoff attempt, which killed both pilots and 2 passengers, but somehow spared Barker and Adam DJ AM Goldstein.
They overran the end of runway 11. They impacted the antenna array and a number of lights at the end of the runway. They went through the perimeter fence and across the roadway here.
They were taken from the scene with 2nd and 3rd degree burns. Barker spent over 11 weeks in the hospital in immense pain, undergoing numerous surgeries and skin grafts, but eventually recovered and returned to drumming again. Sadly, Goldstein died of an overdose in August the following year. Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. P. Diddy. His private jet was struck by lightning in 2005 and made an emergency landing.
I'm living on the run because I'm public enemy number 1.
John McCain survived several crashes and was shot down over North Vietnam.
A surface-to-air missile hit my airplane and hit the right wing and took it off, and I went into a very violent spiral downward.
McCain ejects, breaking both arms and a knee in the process. He descends into the waiting arms of the enemy.
Ed Robertson. In 2008, the Bare Naked Ladies singer's private plane crashed into trees in Ontario.
It feels just like I'm falling for the first time.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Harrison Ford. Known for his on-screen piloting skills, Harrison Ford is also an actual licensed pilot.
And you could use a co-pilot?
I got one. He's back there.
Unfortunately, Ford's piloting record has more in common with Indy than Han.
You know how to fly, don't you?
No. Do you?
Oh, no.
How hard can it be?
In 1999, he crashed a helicopter in California, damaging the aircraft but escaping unscathed. He wasn't so lucky in 2015 when he crashed a vintage World War II plane onto a golf course, breaking his ankle and pelvis.
It's an airplane that's as old as Harrison Ford is. When airplanes or engines are that old, they do have a tendency to fail.
He made headlines again for risky landings in 2017 and 2020, too close for comfort to other planes, for which he apologized. On the upside, he's also used his Bell 407 helicopter to rescue a hiker and a Boy Scout, so maybe the karma evens out there.
I did not get an autograph, but I did get a handshake and a hug. I'll always be thankful for all that he's done for me.
Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.